Molia seli ilfa olima. Failo mai le fionga kovan sili fo fuanga ile official malo le state of Hawaii. E whaatalo whātu Amerika Samoa lau whaafunga le nei tūlau le fiafi e ala itala mai lau KVZK TV. E tomua atu le nei a fiafi na moli mau le afiunga le sui au au ale territory i le Konkeresi le afiunga iau I whaatali au mua amata I lumo le komiti ale mauto sui. E tusai malana pidi tau whaofi le HR tolu iwa le asa ia whaoluina I le vaiaso nei. O le whaamoe moe o le nei tūla fono tau whaofi o le toe whaafowina lea o le American Samoa Economic Development Credit, lea ta ua o le 30A, e whaavai le lunga o vaenga o le Internal Revenue Service.
E le taimiola na saunoanga na ta ua iwi whaatali e Apia, na whaamuta leo ngā po ua expire le American Samoa Economic Development Credits, I le aso mo mua le masino Januari o le tupsanga lua, ina ua mai au na toe whaafowina, ua fuafua e una iai ia tupe te uwhaafai ngā aduenga I tutono le US Insula ma maua I ngā aduenga e alai le whaaititi o la fonga le whetera le tupe maua e maua mai e alai le anga whaai pisinisi Amerika. O lea credit ua whaaititi ai tulanga uma o loo whaale tonu le territory ma whesoasoani ai company e au fiaimal company e satala ina ia whaawau ngā aduenga I lunga o ele Amerika.
I reporti mai le whaamasinonga ua tuina atu nei le mata upu. A se tasi o li le whaamasinonga mawalunga mo lona whaawawina. O lea li na ia wha o li mai lona to olua ona o le wheesesia inga I tūlanga tau tupe. E tolis fuluafe tā la ua whaatulanga ina e le whaamasinonga whaitu malo e tutongi e le ua molia whato atatala I tua.
O mōlianga I whaasanga I le ua mōdia nei, e au whia I le wha o lima I le tūlanga lua, o se soli tūla whono mamafa, e tasi ma mōdianga mama e lua. O le ale whaalawi loina lau KVZK le suafa o le ua mōlia, o no le puipuia o le ua whia nei. E whaamamonga le whaamsinonga lo manino ai e whaapea, o le nei whaalawilawe na tūla I mai le aso le tausanga fou. Lea na mawai nai le ofisa o leo, se vala au mo se whasoasoani e tusa ai masawanga e whaasanga I le ua whia. E le taimina taunu uantu ai manu le malo o lo tūlanga pangati le ua mōlia, ma au inatu le mauta ngase. Ina wa toe sau itua le wa afia mai le mauta ngase na toe asi ai e manu le malo le mauta o le wa afia na ia whaamanino ai sa fisili atu le ua mōlia ia te ia isi tupe e whaatawai le ava malosi ai ona ia te ena na ta ua le wa afia o tau mawhai o ia nga I fafo le fale o ina loa sa o ai le limolo na to ulua ia te ia. Na visiri ngia fo ia manu le malo le sa whaatinoina le sori tūla fono e tu sa ima nei whaamatalanga ma sa ia tautino ai ma whaamonia ana ngayo I ngā sawhai.
Sa whaeloa mai le awhionga I kovana le tū mau le awhionga ia Pulu II Junior le fuafuanga I tusa ma le ofisa o le malo o loo I le state o Hawaii. I le fuafuanga lea o le awhainga luenga o loo ngā lulue ai. O lea whaamoe ina ia whaititia le tupe alu a le malo.
I se reporti mai le tala nei, o loo au mai ai le lava o le tupe, e tutongi ina ai le au whai ngā ruenga e to se fulma le fitu sa ngā rue le ofisa, lea sa whaataunu ina ai le ave esea o nisi o le au whai ngā ruenga. Mai le tasi tesi ma le whamiliona tala, sa pasi ina I le paketi mo ofisa le malo, fitu se lau iwa se fultonu afe, sa whaanganga mo tutongi o tangata whai ngā ruenga, e tutonu nisi o ofisa le malo. E wale se fuluafe tala le tutongi e le tusanga o le whaatonu o le ofisa I Hawaii, fitu se fuluafe le tutongi o le sui whaatonu, lo se fululima afe le tutongi le tusanga mo le sa avea maso upo le ofisa I Hawaii, manisi matanga ruenga le malo. Tangata nu o le atunuu o loo au mau I atunuu I fafo, ma le tai tolu se fuluafe le tausanga sa tutongi ai, e sa ngā dulu e tutonu le ofisa, ma whaatino ina ngā ruenga whaafai tusi. O le whaamalo loa ai o nisi o whai ngā ruenga o le tau mawhai o le whai ngā malo fou, e se where tupe whaangaio I ai le telo fuafuanga a le malo.
O se tasi o pili whaawhia le sui whaipule mai le stete o Hawaii ia Ed Case, o lo lango ina maalosi e le sui au o le territory i le konkeresi le awhionga iawi whaatali au mua amata, o le aunga au tu o le pili, e whaatatau i le tau o meli ma o loa whaatawina i lungo le interneti, ma le whiawea ina i le vau company Amerika, ma no fuanga e awhia i Amerika Samoa, Hawaii, Alaska, Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, Northern Mariana, maisi territory al United States.
I se saunoanga a le awhionga iau i whaatali o loo whailoa ai eia le mafuanga o le tele ina whaonga e tangata anu o atunu o le Pasifika whaataunga i lunga le interneti ona o le maua lea o le tele o nei o loa i le Pasifika peitai ua whetai ai tangata anu o atunu u sa ta ua ma le lui tau ona o le taungata o le whiawea i no meli o le pili whaofi le HR tolu valu se fulu o lo tau mawhai nei, le sui whaipule mai Hawaii whaatasi ma le langolango sua le awhionga iau i whaatali, ina ia pasi tutonu le mautu sui, e le konakaresi, ma nga i atu i le senate. E le ngata i le tau o meli e whaapea i foi, le avea lea maawa noa mawhai ai o na whaawau mai le tautua o mawhai o na ofoi ne company i sisi tete, ina ia awhia ai ma Amerika Samoa, ma nisi o nei no whuanga i tutonu o ala tau lisi, o atunu o mawhai o na lafo sao iai meli, o whaataunga a tangata.
Ua iai nei se ata e ta ua o le not a U.S. citizen e whaalia i lunga o le PBS Digital Studios e le aso luas fumalvalu o le maasina le nei. O le ata e whaautu i le tūlanga o lo iai nei tangata anu Amerika Samoa e le o awhia i le whaatulanga ina e pe o isi territory i le avea ai ma citizeni o Amerika i le taimi e soifua mai ai.
O lo o whaautuina le anta i le tūlango tangata na soifua mai i le territory e le unisi tiseni se i vanga na le uia o tūlanga te tau na whaia e pe o le tarusanga ina lea o le sitiseni le ofiso mata upu tau i sitiseni ma pepa no fumau i le malo tele. O le tūlanga e ese mai ai Amerika Samoa ma isi territory o Amerika o le okometi o le avea ma sitiseni o latu tangata nuu i le soifua mai. O whaatatalonoanga mai nisi o alo le atunu i aile te maitai a sa laivai se Yuli e noa lutu Macmoa. Whapea, ma se tasio veterani a Palaita, Tusi Pasi, Sui au noa, e whatataui le aia tatau o le tangata anu o le territory, e avea ai ma si tiseni. O lo au fia ai, ma lesa avea ma whaatonu, o le official le political status, le sungai le fomai a Daniel Anga, o se tasio sui sa whengai ma le toe ilo ino le whaavae. O feutanga ina ma le feiterale. O le tū o lo au mai e salaivai e le noa ma Palaita, e ao o na tangatanga iai e tusa ma le mata upu. I le teiminei, o lo tū mau le whaongai na tū whaamatai, o le tū mau lea o tū maanga i whanua o le atunuu. O se a fianga o nei vaenga tāua o le atunuu, pe a whina ngalo le atunuu, e talo sanga le sitiseni pe a whanau mai le tangata anu o Amerika Samoa, pe ono ave e se a isa o le tonga, e whaatino ai lava tū maanga ua masani ai, pe a whina ngalo le malo tele, e talia le talo sanga i le sitiseni.
Ia tātou tala mai Apia, o se tasi o whaalawelawe sa tūlai mai le awhio anga si usenga. Mo le tolu i tūla lea na whai ai se whai unga while mu i le awhiawhi o le asoana nafi i na ua manuia whiutanga ina a sunga i li leo leo ma se tasi o tangata anu usaina lea na ia whanga ina se i tūlou nisi o li leo leo se to tolu.
Na riputia le Samoa Observer le nei whaalawelawe lea na tūlai mai se vae ngō le awauli na taunu wantu se wala au i le ofisa o leo leo e tusa ma lea whaalawelawe. Sa afia se tasi o leo leo ina ua pāle whana ma tau mawhai le ua mōli nei e whao oni manua whaapelo na tau whaamatau i ali i leo leo ina ia o ese. O le o lo mōli nei o ia e ana ina le whale uloa sa tupu ai le whaalawelawe. I le ia ini manua tū ngā o le li leo leo sa afia i le upenga malosi e tusa ma se whaamatalanga le sunga i le komisina o leo leo ia ua pa au longo i tino Filipo. Na wha tutele ina le wha whitauli ina ua tau mawhai le o lo mōlia nei e ave wha malosi lo na to'lua ma wha matau i se whana na tau wantu sui o le ofisa o leo leo ma wheutanai ma le ua mōlia nei ina ia tau fo ia le wha whitauli ma isilia ma tolu I tula o tau tala noina le mata upu I le fane uloa sa tupu ai le fala velave. Ina ua po ina e malu le malo le nei li isaina ma awina atu I le fane leo sa faatino ina ai foi ma su esuenga I le fale uloa ma maua ina ai nisi o fana e lua e au fia ai ma le fana sa faonga ina I le ua molia e fao o I manu ai se tasio li leo ma ele ila iseneina na taua foi e aua paau o lo tau fia nei le ali Asia I le toese e tali ai o na modianga au whaanga solo pea su esuenga I le whaalawelawe na tula I mai whapea ai ma upenga marolosi e lua lea ele ila iseneina.
O si mai alau mai moa ma lau whaafungaanga I tālau le tau ma le tai mo Amerika Samoa. Amerika Samoa o nisi nau whaapoponga o tala mai lau KVZK TV whaafitai le whaatasimai manuia tele lau whaasausaunga tau whaaseifua. Congresswoman fights to renew the American Samoa Economic Development Credit. Man charged for assaulting his wife over money. Acting governor implementing measures to decrease the number of government workers at the office in Hawaii. Talo falava and welcome to your evening news here on KVZK TV. Congresswoman Awifa Atali Aumo'amata testified this week before the House Ways and Means Committee regarding her bill, H.R. 399, which she introduced last week. The bill aims to permanently renew the American Samoa Economic Development Credit, commonly called 30A, based on a section of the Internal Revenue Service Code.
During her testimony, Amata said the American Samoa Economic Development Credit, which expired on the 1st of January in 2022, after repeated renewals, is designed to encourage investment in U.S. insular areas and create jobs by reducing the federal taxes on income earned by qualifying United States businesses. The credit has helped alleviate the territory's significant competitive disadvantages, helping companies, including the cannery, continue operation on U.S. soil.
American Samoa relies upon the operation of a tuna cannery to provide economic vitality to the island. This cannery has become the largest private sector employer on the island, providing 2,450 jobs, or approximately 25% of the island's employment. Despite the economic challenges, the operation of this cannery is crucial for the economic sustainability of American Samoa, as it, along with its associated fishing operations, contributes to a third of the island's gross domestic product. Other related industries on the island, such as fueling, shipping, and stevedoring, depend on the ongoing activities of the cannery to support their own operations. This economic activity has allowed American Samoan citizens to retain meaningful employment along with a reliable income and valuable fringe benefits. My bill, H.R. 399, would permanently extend the American Samoa Economic Development Credit, or ASEDC, which expired on January 1, 2022, after repeated renewals. The ASEDC was designed to encourage investment in the U.S. insular areas and create jobs by reducing the federal taxes on income earned by qualifying U.S. businesses. The credit has helped to alleviate significant competitive disadvantages facing businesses in the territory, helping companies, including the cannery, continue operations on U.S. soil, while competitors increasingly move business overseas to take advantage of cheap labor and foreign subsidies. The ASEDC was routinely extended as part of an annual package of tax extenders since its creation in 1996 until it expired on January 1, 2022. The credit was typically extended for 1 to 3 years at a time and had been renewed and made retroactive 9 times since 1996. Since the credit's expiration, companies in American Samoa have had to consider either significantly reducing their operations or exploring the possibility of relocating to more viable economic environments. The American Samoan government estimates that such relocations could cause a financial crisis from which the island economy may never recover. The credit represents an offset of approximately a quarter of the cannery's annual labor costs. For comparison, relocation of the cannery to outside the U.S. would cut costs by nearly 3/4. Competing canneries in Asia pay their workers the equivalent of less than $2 an hour under harsh and unsafe conditions. To be frank, Starkist has expressed a strong desire to remain in American Samoa under the U.S. flag, where U.S. workers' rights are better protected, but the fact remains that they require government support to remain competitive. A 2023 GAO report noted that reductions in the tuna canning industry would likely also affect support industries such as transportation and warehousing, retail and wholesale, and construction in American Samoa. The tax credit also represents an opportunity for further development of the American Samoa economy. While we're primarily a fishing town, the credit could be used to attract other industries and revenue streams for the island. Thank you again, Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Neal, and the rest of the Ways and Means Committee for the opportunity to speak today. Given the low cost of the credit compared to its immense economic benefit to American Samoa, I strongly encourage my colleagues to pass H.R. 399 to permanently extend the ASEDC. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
In news from the court, a man who allegedly assaulted his wife and unlawfully confined her concerning a dispute over money has had his case referred to the High Court for further proceedings. The district court set his bail at $30,000.
The defendant is charged with second-degree assault, a felony, as well as false imprisonment and private peace disturbance, which are both misdemeanors. KVZK TV will not disclose the defendant's name to protect the complainant's identity. Court filings indicate that the incident occurred on New Year's Day when police received a call for assistance regarding a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, they found the victim unconscious, and she was transported to the hospital, from which she was later released. The following day, police visited the victim at her home. She informed them that her husband had requested money to buy alcohol, which she refused. It is alleged that when the woman attempted to leave the house, the defendant held her against her will and threw her into a corner and landed on a small table. During the altercation, it is claimed that the defendant strangled his wife. and she attempted to fight him off. Court filings state that the defendant then threw the woman out of the house, causing her to lose consciousness. Police also spoke to the defendant, who allegedly admitted to assaulting his wife. Joyetta Fengaimali with your news on KVZK.
Acting Governor Pulu Ai Jr. has announced that due to budgetary limitations, only a selected number of employees will be retained in Honolulu's Office of the American Samoa Government.
Acting Governor Pulamatala Ai Jr. told Telene that the available funding was insufficient to sustain all 17 employees. Therefore, the governor's office will release most staff members. The governor's office budget for fiscal year 2025 totals $1.4 million, with approximately $793,000 explicitly allocated for personnel expenditures. The salary of the Hawaii office director is $80,000, while the deputy director's annual compensation is $70,000. The lowest paid position is that of a liaison officer, whose salary is $25,000. A clerk and an administrative assistant each earn $30,000 per annum. The budget outlines several critical output measures intended to enhance the operational efficacy of the governor's office. These measures include providing thorough assistance to both inbound and outbound government departments' personnel, coordinating travel arrangements for the governor and lieutenant governor during their transit between Hawaii and the continental United States, ensuring efficient logistics, and offering general support to American Samoans residing in Hawaii and the United States, addressing their unique needs and concerns, facilitating the Samoa Heritage Initiative program in Hawaii, designed to promote and preserve Samoan culture and heritage within the community. This initiative is essential for fostering cultural identity and pride among Samoans outside their ancestral homeland. Joyetta Fengaimali with your news on KVZK.
Congresswoman Uifatali Mata is an original co-sponsor of a bipartisan bill sponsored by Hawaii Representative Ed Case to end what he called the discriminatory and exclusionary shipping practices faced by residents and businesses in American Samoa, Hawaii, Alaska, Puerto Rico, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Northern Mariana Islands, and other U.S. territories.
The Congresswoman says the Pacific people depend heavily on shipping for many goods, from necessities to construction materials, so shipping cost increases can severely impact family budgets. Congressman Case said H.R. 380, the Affordable Shipping for All Act, will ensure that no shipping company, including the United States Postal Service, can impose discriminatory rates or exclude non-contiguous areas from receiving shipments. The act will also require shipping rates for non-contiguous regions to reflect the service costs rather than arbitrary price increases, adding that rather than treating the Pacific equally, residents and businesses of the non-contiguous U.S. face four persistent and unfair shipping practices that drive up costs and make life harder for millions of Americans. First, as confirmed by the Federal Trade Commission, many online retailers refuse to ship essential products to certain parts of the United States, treating them like foreign countries. This prevents millions of Americans from accessing critical goods. Second, even when shipping is available to non-contiguous areas, retailers often do not provide free shipping options available in the contiguous U.S., resulting in higher costs for residents in these areas. Third, shipping prices through private services are often inflated and do not reflect actual distances. For instance, shipping a 2-pound package from Los Angeles to Hawaii can cost over $45, while the same package to New York City costs only $14. This disparity is unreasonable. And lastly, the USPS has created a new Zone 10 for shipments to non-contiguous areas, raising rates for Priority Mail Express, Priority Mail, and Ground Advantage packages by 5%. This change discriminates against these regions and contradicts the USPS's goal of providing equal mail access. Joyetta Fengaimali with your news on KVZK.
Not a U.S. Citizen is a short documentary premiering on PBS Digital Studios next Tuesday, co-directed by Gabby Alafanga Malufilufi Faiwaso and John Nico Patu. It examines the unique legal status of individuals born in American Samoa, the only U.S. territory without birthright citizenship.
The film highlights the viewpoints of two native inhabitants of American Samoa, Salaivai Seiuli Eleanor Lutumekmore, a traditional chief who wants to maintain the status quo, and Palaita Tusipasi Suyaunoa, a U.S. Marine veteran who believes in the right to citizenship for his people. Both explore the meaning of being a non-citizen national, a legal status designated only for American Samoans. Along with Tapa'au Dr. Daniel Anga, former director of the American Samoa's Office of Political Status, Constitutional Review, and Federal Relations, Salavai and Palaita interrogate what it means to be part of the United States while simultaneously being apart from it, reflecting on the unique indigenous institutions afforded to Samoans, such as their indigenous chiefly system, land ownership rights, and traditional culture. They reflect on the territory's relationship with the United States and whether American Samoans should be automatic citizens at birth. Not a U.S. citizen can be viewed on PBS Digital Studios when it is released next week, Tuesday, the 28th of January. Joyeta Fengay Mali'i with your news on KVZK.
In our news from Apia, a tense 3-hour standoff in Siusenga came to a peaceful resolution yesterday evening after police successfully negotiated with a Chinese national who had shot at 3 police officers earlier in the day and kept his ex-wife hostage at gunpoint inside his shop.
The Samoa Observer reported on a recent incident that began around midday yesterday when police were called to a domestic violence situation at a local Chinese-owned shop. Upon arrival, officers were met with gunfire as the suspect, armed with a pistol, shot at them. One officer was wounded when a bullet grazed his neck, but fortunately, the 2 other officers were unharmed and managed to escape the gunfire. Police Commissioner Awapa'au Lungoitino Filipo confirmed with the newspaper that the injured officer was taken to the hospital and is currently in stable condition, though he requires further medical assessments. The situation escalated when the Chinese suspect retreated into the shop, taking his ex-wife hostage and threatening her with a gun. In response, authorities established a perimeter around the area and began negotiations that lasted for more than 3 hours. Eventually, the suspect agreed to surrender and release the hostage before turning himself in. Awapa'au noted that the police used a patient and strategic approach to de-escalate a standoff, telling the Samoa Observer, and I quote, "It was an unfortunate incident that could have gone worse," unquote. After hours of discussion, the suspect agreed to release his ex-wife and subsequently surrendered. 2 other Chinese nationals escorted him to the police station. Upon the suspect's surrender, police searched the shop and found 2 firearms, including an unlicensed pistol used in the shooting. An investigation is ongoing to determine the legality of the other firearm. Awapa'au also expressed gratitude to the Chinese embassy for their crucial assistance in communicating with the suspect, which helped calm the situation. Over 10 police vehicles were deployed to ensure public safety. The commissioner concluded that the situation was volatile, but was resolved without further injury or loss of life. The Chinese suspect is now in custody at police headquarters in Apia, where he will be formally charged while investigations continue into the incident and the firearms. Joyeta Fengay Mali'i with your news on KVZK.
Coming up next is your weather and tide report. And that is tonight's edition of your KVZK TV News. Thanks for joining us. Have a blessed weekend. Tofa Soifua.